In the late 1990s, a revolutionary piece of software quietly began reshaping the world of music. Napster, a peer-to-peer file-sharing network, would soon become both a symbol of freedom and a lightning rod for controversy. Within months of its launch, millions of songs could be downloaded in seconds without a single dollar exchanged. Artists, record labels, and fans alike were swept into a whirlwind of innovation, scandal, and cultural upheaval. Imagine opening your computer in 1999 and having access to almost every album ever released, free at your fingertips. One click, and you could hear Metallica, Dr. Dre, or Britney Spears instantly. But behind this seemingly limitless library lurked legal battles, industry panic, and ethical questions that would define the digital age of music forever. In the next seconds, you'll witness how a college student's idea sparked a global music revolution, the rise and fall of Napster, the courtroom dramas that followed, and the lasting impact on the music industry today. Subscribe and stay until the end for a fact that will change how you hear every song downloaded on your devices. Napster wasn't just a website, it was a cultural earthquake. Its story intertwines personal ambition, technological genius, legal fury, and the raw human desire to access music freely. As Sean Parker, Napster's first president, once reflected, "We just wanted to build a better way for people to discover music, and suddenly the world exploded." The narrative begins not in boardrooms or concert halls, but in dorm rooms, where teenagers armed with computers and curiosity ignited a new era. It is a story of invention, disruption, and the unforeseen consequences of connecting millions of music lovers across the globe. Napster's story is more than a tech tale. It's a portrait of a generation redefining ownership, creativity, and the value of music itself. It begins in 1999, when a small college dorm in California gave birth to a platform that would almost kill the traditional music industry before teaching it how to survive in a digital world. If you learn this, hit like. It tells YouTube to show this story to others. Early years, from dorm room to digital sensation. The story of Napster begins in 1999, in a modest dorm room at Northeastern University, Boston. Sean Fanning, a 19-year-old computer science student with a passion for coding and music, grew frustrated by the difficulty of sharing his favorite songs with friends. At that time, digital music existed largely in isolated files. MP3s stored on hard drives, exchanged via clunky email attachments or physical media. Fanning envisioned a system that could make music instantly accessible to anyone with an internet connection. He developed a peer-to-peer network that allowed users to connect directly to each other's computers and share MP3 files. Unlike traditional downloading from a central server, Napster decentralized the process. Each participant became both a host and a client. The software indexed available music across connected users, creating an enormous virtual library that anyone could browse. Napster's initial adoption was slow but viral. It spread first among Northeastern students, then across college campuses nationwide. By mid-2000, the platform boasted millions of users. Fanning, along with friend Sean Parker, who would later become the company's first president, realized the explosive potential of what they had built. Parker, only 20 years old, had experience in tech startups and brought charisma, media savvy, and investor connections to the fledgling company. He described the early momentum as like a snowball rolling downhill. It started small, but there was no stopping it once it left the dorms. The cultural impact was immediate. Fans could now discover music beyond radio playlists or retail store selections. Lesser-known bands, independent artists, and international acts suddenly had exposure to millions. This democratization of music distribution created a profound sense of empowerment among listeners. As one early Napster user recalled, "It was like having the entire record store in your bedroom. You could explore endlessly, find obscure tracks, and share them with friends instantly." Yet Napster's success also marked the beginning of a looming conflict with the music industry. Major record labels and top-selling artists, accustomed to controlling distribution channels, recognized the threat immediately. Every free download represented lost revenue, and every user was a potential legal target. In particular, bands like Metallica and Dr. Dre became vocal opponents, fearing that unauthorized sharing would erode the value of their work. Metallica famously sued Napster in March 2000 after discovering that thousands of fans were sharing their album load without permission. Technologically, Napster was both innovative and fragile. Its centralized index, while efficient, made it vulnerable to legal attack. Still, its simplicity contributed to rapid adoption. Users needed minimal technical knowledge to install the software and begin downloading music immediately. The interface displayed available songs, download speeds, and connected peers, providing a sense of community and collaboration that other platforms lacked. By late 2000, Napster had transformed from a dorm room experiment into a cultural phenomenon. It was a platform that challenged traditional notions of ownership, copyright, and the value of recorded music. College students, teenagers, and early internet adopters became the first generation of digital music consumers, reshaping expectations for access and convenience. The early years of Napster were not just a story of software, they were a revolution in how music was consumed, shared, and experienced. The stage was set for a dramatic collision between technology and the entrenched music industry, a confrontation that would escalate into legal battles, public debates, and ultimately, the decline of the platform itself. Breakthrough and explosion. Napster at its peak. By early 2000, Napster had evolved from a niche college project into a global phenomenon. Millions of users logged on daily, exchanging thousands of tracks every hour. What started as a dorm room experiment had become the epicenter of a digital music revolution. The platform's growth was astonishing. By July 2000, Napster reported over 25 million registered users and 80,000 simultaneous connections at peak times. Its servers and the bandwidth of the internet itself struggled to keep up with the unprecedented demand. Napster's influence on music consumption was immediate and transformative. Albums that had struggled to find audiences suddenly reached global recognition overnight. Independent artists gained exposure on an unprecedented scale, while teenagers and young adults embraced music as a social experience, sharing playlists with friends and discovering genres previously confined to niche communities. Napster wasn't just a tool, it was a cultural movement. Yet with great popularity came great scrutiny. Artists who had initially remained silent began to speak out. Metallica's lawsuit, filed in March 2000, alleged that Napster was responsible for widespread copyright infringement. Dr. Dre and other high-profile musicians followed suit, framing the debate around artistic rights and financial loss. "The technology is amazing, but it's robbing artists of their livelihood," stated Dr. Dre in a 2000 interview with Rolling Stone. Napster's legal vulnerability lay in its centralized directory, which indexed all available MP3s. While the actual file sharing occurred peer-to-peer, the central index made the company an easy target. U.S. District Court Judge Marilyn Hall Patel issued a preliminary injunction in December 2000, ordering Napster to prevent copyright infringement or face closure. The decision ignited a firestorm of media coverage, positioning Napster as both a champion of free digital access and a violator of artists' rights. Public reaction was divided. Students and early internet adopters viewed Napster as a democratizing force, a way to break free from corporate control over music. "It felt like we finally had power over what we listened to, instead of the radio or record labels deciding for us," said one user interviewed by Reuters in 2000. Meanwhile, the recording industry framed Napster as a threat to creativity and economic survival, claiming billions in potential losses. The platform's cultural footprint extended beyond file sharing. Napster sparked debates about intellectual property, the role of technology in art, and the value of music in a digital age. Its impact on artists, labels, and consumers was profound, foreshadowing the music streaming revolution that would emerge in the following decade. Despite mounting legal pressure, Napster continued to innovate. It experimented with premium accounts, faster downloads, and collaborations with independent labels. Fanning and Parker attempted to legitimize the platform through licensing agreements, but negotiations with the Recording Industry Association of America proved difficult. Labels feared setting a precedent that would undermine traditional sales models, while Napster's users demanded free, unrestricted access. By late 2000, Napster had achieved iconic status. It wasn't merely a platform, it was a movement redefining the relationship between music, technology, and culture. Yet, like many revolutionary forces, its rapid ascent set the stage for a dramatic fall. Legal battles were intensifying, investor pressure was mounting, and the fragile balance between innovation and legality was reaching its breaking point. Legal battles and decline. Napster under fire. As Napster's popularity surged, so did scrutiny from the music industry. By 2001, the platform faced a relentless legal onslaught. The Recording Industry Association of America, representing major labels, filed a lawsuit seeking to hold Napster accountable for massive copyright infringement. The case, A&M Records Incorporated v. Napster, Inc., argued that the service facilitated the illegal distribution of copyrighted music, depriving artists and labels of revenue. Napster has become a haven for thieves, stated RIAA Chairman Hillary Rosen in court filings. Metallica and Dr. Dre were emblematic of artists taking personal action. Metallica's lawsuit, initiated in March 2000, accused Napster users of illegally downloading the band's unreleased tracks, including demos intended for their Saint Anger album. Lars Ulrich, Metallica's drummer, declared in a 2000 interview, "It's not about money. It's about respect for the work we create. Napster disrespects that." Meanwhile, Dr. Dre and other artists joined similar suits, signaling a broader movement of musicians fighting for control over their creative output. Napster's founders, Sean Fanning and Sean Parker, found themselves caught in an escalating legal battle. Their defense centered on the argument that Napster was merely a tool, a facilitator for peer-to-peer sharing, not directly responsible for infringement. However, the courts emphasized the centralized index, which allowed users to search and access copyrighted material effortlessly. In July 2001, U.S. District Court Judge Marilyn Hall Patel ruled that Napster must prevent the sharing of copyrighted music, effectively crippling the platform's core functionality. The legal battles were not just a technical or financial struggle, they were a cultural war. Fans and college students rallied online in defense of Napster, framing the lawsuits as an attack on the democratization of music. Protests, petitions, and heated online forums highlighted the generational divide. Younger users saw music as a shared, communal experience, while industry veterans viewed copyright as a fundamental right and economic necessity. Despite the injunction, Napster attempted to comply by implementing filtering technologies to block copyrighted material. The system proved imperfect, leading to continued legal pressure. Simultaneously, investor confidence waned. Venture capitalists worried that prolonged litigation could bankrupt the company, while partners feared the negative publicity surrounding the lawsuits. The public perception of Napster began to shift as the legal narrative dominated headlines. Once hailed as a revolutionary force, the platform now symbolized conflict between innovation and law. Users expressed frustration over intermittent access, technical glitches, and uncertainty about the platform's future. Sean Parker reflected in a 2002 interview, "We created something that changed the world, but we didn't fully understand the storm we were entering." By mid-2002, Napster's challenges reached a climax. The courts issued a permanent injunction mandating that Napster block copyrighted content. Unable to meet the legal and technological demands, the company declared bankruptcy in June 2002. Its servers, once buzzing with millions of file exchanges, fell silent. The closure marked the end of an era, but Napster's legacy persisted. Its blueprint for digital music sharing had fundamentally altered consumer expectations and set the stage for the streaming revolution. The fallout extended beyond Napster itself. Lawsuits against individual users, though controversial, drew attention to the legal responsibilities of digital consumers. Universities debated the legality of peer-to-peer networks on campus networks. Meanwhile, emerging platforms such as Kazaa, LimeWire, and eDonkey capitalized on Napster's absence, continuing the cultural and technological shift toward digital music distribution. Key takeaways from Napster's decline. Napster's legal vulnerability stemmed from its centralized index and high-profile visibility. Artists and labels leveraged lawsuits to protect copyright, shaping the future of digital music rights. Public support highlighted a generational shift in music consumption values. The platform's collapse paved the way for the next wave of digital music services. Legacy and digital transformation. Napster's lasting impact. Although Napster ceased operations in 2002, its influence reverberated throughout the music industry, fundamentally reshaping how audiences accessed and consumed music. The platform exposed a simple yet profound truth. Consumers wanted instant, on-demand access to songs, unbound by CDs, record stores, or rigid release schedules. The question was no longer whether people wanted digital music, it was how the industry would adapt. Napster's bankruptcy did not silence the conversation about digital distribution. Former Napster employees, including Sean Parker and Sean Fanning, continued to innovate in technology. Fanning later co-founded Rupture, a social network for gamers, while Parker became instrumental in early ventures like Plaxo and eventually Facebook. Their experiences highlighted the challenges and rewards of pioneering disruptive technology, demonstrating the human side of digital revolution. Meanwhile, the music industry was forced to acknowledge the inevitability of online consumption. Labels initially reacted with litigation and fear, but by the mid-2000s, a new approach emerged. In April 2003, Apple launched the iTunes Store, offering legally licensed music downloads for 99 cents per song. Steve Jobs described it as a way to give people what they want without punishing them for how they want it. Other platforms followed suit, including Rhapsody, Amazon MP3, and later Spotify, which launched in 2008 in Sweden. These services adopted lessons from Napster, emphasizing user-friendly interfaces, social sharing, and access over ownership. Napster's peer-to-peer blueprint evolved into subscription-based streaming, fundamentally reshaping music economics. By 2010, streaming had become a dominant force, generating billions in revenue, while transforming artist promotion, touring, and fan engagement. Napster also catalyzed cultural shifts. Fans became active participants in music discovery, curating playlists, sharing tracks, and shaping viral trends. The democratization of access challenged traditional gatekeepers such as radio stations and MTV, allowing underground or independent artists to reach global audiences directly. Hip-hop, indie rock, and electronic music particularly benefited from this digital proliferation. At the same time, the industry grappled with ethical and financial implications. While streaming platforms offered convenience, they introduced complex royalty structures and debates over fair compensation. Artists like Taylor Swift, Thom Yorke, and Radiohead voiced concerns, arguing that despite broad access, musicians were often underpaid relative to revenue generated. These debates echoed the fundamental conflict Napster had ignited, balancing technological innovation with artist rights. Napster's brand itself underwent transformation. In 2003, Roxio acquired the Napster name and relaunched it as a legal, subscription-based service. While it never regained the cultural dominance of its peer-to-peer heyday, the brand symbolized the bridging of two eras: the unregulated early 2000s and the structured, corporate-driven digital music industry. The platform's influence extended into music recommendation algorithms. Services like Pandora, 2005, and Spotify, 2008, leveraged user behavior to suggest new tracks reminiscent of Napster's social sharing. But within legal, monetized frameworks, Napster had demonstrated that listeners craved personalization, community, and immediacy, principles still central to modern streaming ecosystems. Napster's cultural echo and the modern music landscape, 2010-present. By the 2010s, the ripple effects of Napster's revolution had fully transformed the music industry. Streaming platforms dominated how people accessed music, while social media and online communities became central to discovery and promotion. The democratization Napster had ignited now extended to artists themselves. Musicians could bypass traditional labels entirely, building audiences through YouTube, SoundCloud, Bandcamp, and later TikTok. Napster's legacy was particularly evident in the rise of viral hits. Tracks like Old Town Road by Lil Nas X, 2019, exemplified how artists could leverage digital platforms and social sharing to achieve global fame without conventional radio play or label support. This shift mirrored Napster's early ethos: fans sharing music freely, organically, and virally, powered by community rather than corporate marketing. Streaming also introduced a data-driven approach to the industry. Platforms tracked listening behavior meticulously, providing artists and labels with analytics on engagement, demographics, and regional popularity. This feedback loop allowed precise marketing and tour planning, a far cry from the unpredictable physical sales models of the 1990s. Napster had shown the potential of digital insights, planting seeds for the algorithmic curation dominating Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube Music today. Culturally, Napster's ethos contributed to a shift from music ownership to access. Subscription models replaced CDs and downloads, creating an expectation of immediate, unlimited streaming. This access-oriented mindset influenced not only music but other media, including movies, TV, and video games. Netflix, for example, built upon the instant gratification model pioneered by digital music sharing. Artists and labels continued grappling with this new paradigm. While streaming increased reach, it introduced controversies over compensation. Studies revealed most artists earned fractions of a cent per stream, prompting debates about sustainable careers in a fully digital environment. High-profile voices like Taylor Swift, Tom York, and Adele challenged these structures, highlighting tension between technological innovation and fair remuneration, echoing the early conflicts sparked by Napster. Napster also inspired a generation of entrepreneurs. Streaming giants such as Spotify, founded by Daniel Ek and Martin Lawrenson in 2006, built upon Napster's vision but introduced legal, monetized frameworks satisfying both consumers and rights holders. SoundCloud, launched in 2007, similarly embraced Napster's peer-to-peer ethos, providing independent artists with a direct-to-fan model bypassing traditional gatekeepers. Even in popular culture, Napster remains an emblem of technological disruption. References in films, documentaries, and books underline its iconic status as both a cautionary tale and a visionary milestone. Sean Parker reflected, "We were just kids who wanted people to share music. We didn't know it would start a war with the industry, but in hindsight, it forced everyone to evolve." From a generational perspective, Napster instilled the expectation that music should be freely accessible and socially shareable. Millennials and Gen Z grew up in an era where physical media was secondary to streaming, fundamentally altering their relationship with music. This cultural shift influenced not only consumption but also creation, as artists learned to craft songs designed for viral spread, algorithmic recommendation, and social media engagement. The story of Napster illustrates a profound paradox. Technological innovation can liberate and empower, yet simultaneously disrupt existing structures, requiring careful adaptation. By challenging entrenched systems, Napster became more than a file-sharing service. It became a blueprint for the modern music ecosystem. Napster's enduring lessons and the future of music, 2025 to 2030. As the 2020s progressed, Napster's influence continued to resonate in the evolution of the music industry. By 2025, streaming had become the undisputed standard for music consumption, yet the landscape was markedly different from Napster's early days. Platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Amazon Music now dominate, offering AI-driven recommendations, personalized playlists, and algorithmic promotion that shape global listening habits. Yet the foundational ethos of Napster, democratization, access, and community-driven sharing, remains embedded in the industry's DNA. The rise of AI in music creation and curation illustrates Napster's long-term impact. Tools such as OpenAI's Jukebox, Amper Music, and AI they enable independent musicians to experiment with composition, arrangement, and production in ways previously unimaginable. Just as Napster bypassed traditional gatekeepers, AI allows creators to produce high-quality music without massive label support. This trend has sparked both excitement and concern. While technology empowers artists, it also raises ethical questions about authorship, originality, and compensation. Napster's lessons are particularly relevant in the ongoing debate over artist rights and revenue. Despite streaming's global reach, fair compensation remains a challenge. Most artists earn mere cents per stream, prompting labels, platforms, and governments to explore new licensing frameworks and royalty structures. Napster's disruption highlighted a recurring tension. Innovation can expand access, but must be balanced with fair remuneration for creators. Culturally, Napster's story continues to inform generational attitudes toward music. Millennials and Gen Z, who grew up in the file-sharing era or immediately after, expect music to be social, instantly accessible, and participatory. This expectation has shaped trends from TikTok-driven virality to the rise of remix culture, fan collaborations, and user-generated content. Napster demonstrated that music is not merely a product, it is a social experience, a communal phenomenon, that thrives on sharing and engagement. The platform's legacy also underscores the interplay between technology and regulation. Legal battles with the RIAA in the early 2000s set precedents that now guide copyright enforcement, licensing, and digital rights management. These cases illustrate that disruption often outpaces regulation, forcing industries to adapt rapidly to technological advances. Napster's experience offers a roadmap for balancing innovation with ethical and legal responsibility in the digital age. Napster's story extends beyond industry mechanics. It is also a human narrative. Sean Parker, Sean Fanning, and other key figures faced immense pressure, both publicly and personally, navigating legal battles, investor scrutiny, and media attention. Their experiences highlight the personal toll of disrupting established systems, showing that innovation often comes with sacrifice, controversy, and relentless scrutiny. These stories humanize the technological revolution, reminding us that behind every platform are individuals shaping culture and challenging norms. Looking forward, Napster's influence persists in emerging trends. Blockchain-based platforms, decentralized streaming, and NFT-linked music rights echo the platform's original vision of democratization and peer-to-peer sharing, but with legal and financial structures designed to protect artists. Similarly, AI-generated music, fan-driven remixes, and collaborative digital projects continue to reflect Napster's spirit of empowerment, creativity, and disruption. Ultimately, Napster teaches enduring lessons about technology, culture, and society. It shows that innovation can simultaneously liberate and challenge, forcing industries and individuals to rethink ownership, access, and value. The platform's story prompts reflection. How do we balance the democratization of music with the sustainability of the artists who create it? How can technology enhance creativity while preserving human experience, emotion, and artistry? These questions remain as relevant today as they were in 1999. Key takeaways for the future of music. Democratization and community-driven sharing remain central to digital music culture. AI and digital tools empower creators, but raise questions about authorship and originality. Legal frameworks must evolve alongside technological innovation to ensure fairness. Cultural expectations for accessible, participatory music continue to shape industry strategy. Napster exemplifies the intersection of technology, society, and human creativity, offering lessons for future disruption. Napster's journey, from a simple peer-to-peer file-sharing platform to a global cultural phenomenon, demonstrates the power of innovation to reshape industries, societies, and art itself. Its story highlights both opportunities and challenges of digital transformation, the empowerment of creators, the democratization of access, and the tension between disruption and regulation. The platform's legacy lives on in streaming services, AI-generated music, social media virality, and fan-driven creative ecosystems. It also reminds us of the human dimension behind technological change, the visionaries, the artists, and the communities whose passion drives progress. Napster's history prompts reflection. In an era of instant access and algorithmic curation, how do we ensure that creativity, emotion, and artistry remain central? How do we honor the people behind the music while embracing the tools that expand its reach? Napster was more than a platform. It was a revolution. Its lessons continue to inform how we consume, create, and value music today, and will shape the trajectory of the industry for decades to come. If you learned this, hit like. It tells YouTube to show this story to others. Subscribe and hit the bell. New music documentary, Tuesday, Thursday. Watch the following documentaries on our channel.